Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, The Retro Farmhouse. Today I'm working on a project that I've been wanting to do to add some spring decor to my house. And you've probably seen this project on some other videos, some other fellow YouTubers. It's fairly easy, but I just wanted to go ahead and show you how I do this project. So come along with me and we're going to be making a spring type vintage box to put some of our flowers in today. So without further ado, let's get into today's project. So this was one of these projects that I already previously cut out the wood, and I wanted to make one of these, but it just kind of sat around for a while and I never got around to doing it. So I'm showing you today how I did this. I'm just taking a smaller board, and this is going to be my bottom piece, and I have two side boards, and this is all scrap wood I'm using. And really the most cuts you have to make that are intricate is this cut. So I just took two squares, and basically what I did is I measured the middle part, which is my point at the top, and then from there I just went up on the bottom sides and measured up to create my triangle at the top and just cut those at an angle. And then I'm going to use my spindle here for just my handle. I'm going to start out by brushing my Dixie Belle paint in the color Apricot on. I really like this paint. It's kind of a peachy color. I also painted a high chair in this. I'll put a picture up here of what that looks like, but I'll put a link below of this paint that I use. It's kind of like a chalky paint, and I just really like the finish that it does. I'm not really partial to a whole lot of paints in particular. I like to use a lot of different things just to see what works on my different projects. So I did end up applying 2 coats to this color just to give it a good base, and we'll end up distressing some of the edge pieces back. Next, I'm going to take this stencil that I got from Jami Ray Vintage. I saw her use this on one of her videos recently, and I just loved this pattern. I thought it really looked like a nice spring little stencil, and I'll put a link below where you can purchase this off of her website. And I'm just basically using my craft paint here. I'm using the Waverly chalk paint in the color Moss, and I'm just applying this on here. Now, I really do want to get one of her stencil brushes. I think it would create a better crisp line, but right now I'm just using a makeup brush until I get those to apply my stencil. I decided to stencil my pieces all separately before I assembled it. I just figured that would be easier to do. Here what I'm doing is I'm just going to go ahead and apply some wood glue, and I'm going to attach my side pieces to my bottom. And if you've seen before, I attach a lot of my things just using my drill to drill my pilot holes and then putting a finishing nail in there. And I've had a lot of people comment on my little hammer. They're like, why do you use such a small hammer? Get something bigger. But actually this is a finishing nail hammer. You really don't want to use a large hammer on finishing nails because it'll tend to bend them a lot easier. So that's why I'm using this smaller hammer here. Next, I did the same thing for my spindle here. For my handle, I just drilled in through my piece of wood and down into my spindle and applied some finishing nails and some wood glue to that. Next, I just used some fine grit sandpaper to sand down my edges, and a lot on the handle where you would probably see a lot of wear. And here's how today's project turned out. I love my new little spring box planter. It kind of adds a lot of vintage vibes, and I really love this stencil from Jami Ray Vintage. It just reminds me of just some vintage type florals, and it also I think would be really great as like a wallpaper stencil. You can use like the whole thing, or you can just use pieces of it, as you've seen here that I've used on the side. And I just kind of decorated this with just some faux flowers, but definitely you could put some mason jars in this with some real flowers. And I just think it looks like a really cool upcycled old toolbox that you'd see in like an antique shop. I hope you guys liked today's project. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, and please consider subscribing as well. That really helps to support my channel. And also don't forget to hit that little notification bell. I know there's some followers that I've had that have said that they've missed some of my videos, so make sure you do hit that little bell notification. I think maybe YouTube's algorithm or something's going on with them to where a lot of people aren't getting notified of my videos. And so don't forget to go and do that, and join us again for next DIY. Have a great day, guys.